Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. So today, first of all, I just want to say welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Get your drink, pull up. We're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about, a controversial thing, shortages that everybody wants to argue about. Like, oh, they're not happening. I don't see anything in my town. I'm not worried about it. Or random weirdo that would be like, I've been prepping for a while, but I haven't seen shortages, so I'm going to stop. Hey, baby, do whatever you need to do. But today I want to talk through all the things that we've kind of seen over the last couple years and our concerns with those things as we've tracked them, as we've followed them, anywhere way back to, a situation with, the incoming supplies, right? The Suez Canal, that whole fiasco, which still happens today with it being blocked, okay? With all the food distribution plants that have caught fire, with all the problems and aspects that we've had to deal with our farmers, and our farmers being either harassed or told they have to change stuff, or flat out not having the ability to get the things that they need to be able to grow our food, right? Weather concerns, weather problems, you name it, we've seen it over the last few years. All these crazy recalls, supposedly nothing on the shelf is good, which ironically nothing on the shelf is good, you guys. But the whole mindset of how do you figure out what it is that you need to concentrate on as far as shortages. How do importing and exporting goods affect us in the sense of after a conflict has started, after a war. We've never been closer to World War III. Some would argue we're already in World War III. We are in World War III. We're just kind of in this slow phase, proxy-ish side of it, but it's ramping up. It's just a matter of time before our role, evolves into something else. So you've got the conflict right now with them. You've got Iran and Israel. Wow, what a mouthful. You have Russia, against the whole world, it seems like, but obviously immediately Ukraine is the issue. You have China, who's not technically against anybody, but right now is ramping up that, again, it's us. They're building everything they've ever built is to one day, overpower us and to be the powerhouse, right? And of course, there's the little concern. I call it little because, yes, it could be the turning point. It could be the thing that gets us into a full-scale war, which is Taiwan. But to me, the issue and concern has always been there for Russia. It's always been there for China. And these fools now are talking, trying to make alliances, aligning their evilness, the things they want to do, knowing that they are stronger together maybe at first, and then after that they can, go their ways. But they both have a common enemy, which is us. And to see us fail, to see us fall, to see our kingdom fall, if you will, okay? The United States. That is going to affect a lot of things. On this channel, we talk a lot about medicine and how medicine is going to be affected by this, and how the minute a war pops off, especially with China and involved with China at all, that's going to be a problem, and we're going to be cut off at the knees. And a lot of this stuff, who cares? Who cares, to be honest, if we can't get some furniture, a furniture piece, or some kind of laptop, or, yeah, is that a nuisance, especially if it's an item you want? Yeah, but is it a survival item? No, okay? That couch that you're having sent over from China is not a priority. That laptop, I hate to say, baby, is not a priority, right? But medicines is essential. Meds are essential, whether it's over-the-counter stuff or whether it's pieces of prescriptions. And we have companies that then take those pieces and make a prescribed medicine. So it's not a good thing. It's a very, 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 very bad thing. And there's all types of things in between from A to Z that we get from there. And of course, people will be like, well, let's make America great again. Let's cut it off anyway. Well, Americans should be spending money in America, supporting America, and then America could continue to grow. But that's a whole other topic, okay? Shortages and preparing for these wars, and with our mindset of, hey, we're trying to get this food, there's things that are important. And to me, that's your basics, your basic staples. We've talked about that several times. We've talked about the importance of whole ingredients, whole foods, getting those whole things prepared or stockpiled, and then you can make all sorts of meals with it. Going and moving away from stockpiling prepackaged, pre-done food, okay? Because it has so much preservative. I mean, just even a can of soup, tons of preservatives. And how do we go and move towards that? The medicine, that piece, not just medicines and prescribed medicines, but holistics, getting that stuff set up, growing it, buying it, whatever. So that side of medicine, the food side of it, water, right? As soon as something pops off where there's enough shortages and enough holes where people start to panic, or the war changes in a way that makes people panic, meaning the war causes cyber attacks, banks to close, you know, any kind of infrastructure stuff, right? Blackout, no lights, no toilets, no water, anything like that starts to happen on a big scale, people are going to freak out, and they are going to make a run on the grocery stores, and then the shelves are going to be clean. But there's big items that you should be worried about that are whole foods, that you should be worried about, that we're not going to have a whole big supply of it anyway because of all of this stuff that's been happening over the last couple of years, and those are going to finally start catching up to us, right? Those harvests, if you will, are going to start catching up to us, right? The stuff we're eating now was harvested a long time ago, right? And so if you have finally small shortages or small harvests happening this last year and into this next year, you're going to see that in the next year, next 2 years, okay? And there's already been a small problem. That's why you can't find stuff, because they've gotten rid of it. That's why fruits and vegetables are bad quality and are expiring right away, because there is no more luscious, you know, nice big produce, you know, place that's keeping all this fruit for a long time. No, they're behind. They're making less. They've been making less. They've been harvesting less because of all types of situations. And we're just seeing that. That's why you're seeing, you know, cans, even canned food, you're seeing expiration dates that are much sooner than maybe what you would have. Oh, I used to buy a can of something. Maybe the expiration wasn't from 2, 3, 4 years from now. And now you get it and it's going to expire in the next year, within the next year. That's fast for a canned food that you buy, for it to be expiring in the same year that you bought it, right? Same thing with your fruits, your vegetables. When it comes to whole stuff, those whole grains are important. Whole berries, having your ability to make your own flour, having the ability to get whole corn, get whole oats, get your rices, your beans. You have to get those whole foods. Wheat overall is going to be an issue, right? That is something that we've talked about for a while, that wheat, we're going to see a problem with wheat. And it's just a matter of time that you're really going to start feeling that, especially when you have more people that are preparing, more people that are thinking about, okay, the basics, because of money and what they can afford, right? They can't afford the prepackaged, the preservative type foods. They're going back to a more whole food type of cooking, which is a cheaper way of cooking. It is smarter and it's a healthier way of cooking, right? Shortages in salts, there's an issue with salt right now that I've been reading, and they've been talking about, they're trying to spin it as they're trying to make America healthy again, which is just ridiculous, because there's so much preservatives and so much salt in all this preserved food, to come out and be like, Americans need to downplay the salt. I honestly, just, if you want my real opinion, I just think that there's a stockpile. It's like everything else is going to be affected. They're nervous about it, and all of a sudden they're saying that they care about our health, but I think they're worried about the stockpile, and they're worried about stockpiling it for themselves, that these entities need to have this salt for themselves at a certain time. To say to cut back salt, that tells me you need to stockpile it. You need to stockpile salt. We saw a small salt shortage situation during the pandemic. So we already know, we've already seen highs and lows where we've seen, if something happens, in that case it was the pandemic, but if something happens, how it affects these things, just by not having the people there, by just having people sick, whatever, and not having the manpower, the bodies to push whatever the product is. That's where you saw a lot of shortages, meat shortages, salt shortages. You saw a corn shortage. You saw even like beer, like the cans, soda cans, and beer, because there was nobody to work those companies, right? It's no different. It just takes one major thing to happen where there's a run on the store, and then now let it be something where it's total chaos. People are not working. You think that if the banks crash, people are going to work? How are those places even operating? How is that stuff even being pushed out? You have people who are not going to be working, okay? So the minute that this banking crash is serious, the minute something major happens, like it's a total collapse, banking crash, there's no money in the banks, that's a big event that will then push people to chaoticness, freaking out. They won't know what to do. They're going to run on the stores. They're going to buy everything that they can with whatever way they can, right? Because if there's a run on the bank, those stores might be like, no, this money's not even good. Or you're going to have stores that are like, nope, I'll just take it. I'll take that. I'll take silver. I'll take jewelry. I'll take watches. They're going to take advantage of, I've got to offload this anyway before it's looted anyway. So let me just get what I can get and give these people their stuff, right? Or maybe there's some bartering, whatever. But it's not going to be good regardless. But there's certain things, shortages that you need to get ahead of. Think about the things we've already seen. Baby formula, tampons. Those are two very, very important things. Everyday life things, right? Can you make baby formula? Absolutely, right? Do you absolutely have to use a tampon? No, there's other options, right? But those are quality of life things. So you need to stockpile them. We've seen an ebb and flow of pet food already, right? It's almost like when you're unhealthy and people are like, listen to your body, listen to what your body's telling you. You need more water, you need to exercise, you need to eat whatever, right? Listen to your body. This is the same thing. Listen, you've seen the flags, you've seen the ebb and flows already. So think about those ebbs and flows and know that without a doubt, those ebbs and flows, the minute something happens, are going to come right back. Not to mention the other ones that the specific crisis is going to engineer, right? Pandemic, for example, engineered specifically PPE. People freaked out. They didn't have it. They wanted gloves. They wanted masks. They wanted hand sanitizer. It was a frenzy. Bleach. People flocked, got that stuff, and then you couldn't get it. If you didn't get in there and get it, or you weren't prepared, it was a problem, right? So whatever the problem, engineers privately, but think about those simple things. Those same things are going to go. Those popular things. If you're a coffee drinker, you better have your coffee. If you're a liquor drinker, you better have your liquor. You know what I'm saying? Your snacks, your whole foods, like your rice, beans, right? You need to have wheat berries. You need to have corn, so you can do corn meal, whole corn. You need to have supplied with all your livestock stuff, all your livestock snacks, different options, all your pet foods, anything for the baby. I would not be playing around with, medicines, medical supplies, not just the medicines, but the medical supplies. Things go left, there is no hospitals, there is no doctors, there's nobody going to work, okay? It's going to be hard for nursing homes to stay afloat and people to just not be dying and falling off, because those nurses have to actually stay there like 24/7 in order to continue to help those people. But they have their own families. You have police officers, all types of people. If it's super, super big crash, a big event happens, you're going to have all types of people walking away. And so you're going to see a total collapse, and you're going to see where whatever you have, baby, in your house is whatever you have. We saw fertilizer issues. We've seen seed issues. Get that stuff. Stock up on your seeds. Get a ton of them, right? I've got links in the description box below for survival garden seeds. Amazing seeds. They literally have vaults and packages that have groupings of seeds put together. They have microgreen groupings. They have the farmer's vault, which is amazing. It's like $100, you guys, but it's 100 seeds. I don't know about you, but if you've bought seeds at all, good quality seeds that equals out to $1 a pack, you cannot find that. $1 a pack is like, I'm just going to keep it 100. Crappy seeds. Those are Dollar Tree seeds. Those are seeds that, they got them. However, I hope they work. I'm not saying they don't. Lots of people have used seeds from there and they work. But if you want a high quality, no GMO, heirloom seed, okay, high quality seed, all right, I'm telling you, it's from a place like this. I've got go down to the description box and get your seeds. If $100 is too much, they have other packets. They have a homesteader packet. They have a First Gardener or something packet, but there's several packets, several different things that you can get a discount on too if you use my code. So just take a look. It's important. You already saw there was an issue. We saw there was an issue with preservation items, with food preservation items. People couldn't get canners. People couldn't get the pieces for canners. People for a while couldn't get the little white caps that you put on the jar to suck off the air. You could not get those at one point a couple years ago on Amazon and anywhere on the internet. People were scouring, the internet to get those. You could not get them anywhere, okay? Obviously, it was because of the pandemic. There was nobody in those places to make those products, which probably came from China, right? So get your backups is what I'm saying too. Get your things, get your tools. We've seen the ebbs and flows. We've seen a can shortage, right? With soda cans, beer cans, anything in a metal tin was a problem. So your canned goods took a hit and had an issue, right? A lot of them were behind because we can't can this stuff because we didn't have people in there. And people don't understand that it doesn't take a pandemic for it to get crazy. It just takes a major event of some sort, which can come in a lot of different flavors. So listen, I've babbled for a very long time on this video on several different things. Hopefully I've lit a fire under your butt, but it is important. Think about the red flags that are happening now. Think about what we've already experienced. We've already seen with our own eyes as happening as shortages. We went through a shortage of ammo where people couldn't get ammo there for a little bit. Get your ammunition. Get that stuff now. I mean, you should be getting that on a whole other pretense of them trying to take that away from you, and their ability to get that in the future is going to be hard. Get that, right? Get the things, all the little things that you still need to get, these lists that you write down from watching me, from watching other people. Get that stuff before you can't get it anymore. You need to move with an urgency like you can't get this stuff anymore. And your home, if your home is your home, you don't have a whole lot of money. You're like, I don't have all this money to get this stuff. I have my list. I have my stuff. I don't have then just be easy. Keep your house clean. A clean house before an emergency is amazing. It's the only thing that keeps me going on. Make sure I stay up on laundry. Make sure I do my dishes, because I do not want to get caught with a major blackout situation and I have a sink full of dirty dishes and I have tons of laundry, and now we're like on our last, leg of underwears and socks and everything's dirty and it's a blackout. We have no idea how long it's going to last. That's the last thing I want to have happen. So you clean your house. You inventory what you have. Take a minute. It's free, baby, to write. Get a pen and paper, write down and inventory what you have, right? Reorganize stuff so that when you do get money and you can get some more stuff, you've already organized and have room and thought it through what you would get. Okay, I would get this type of shelving, or I'm going to get a dresser for right here. And then save money. Go to your free apps. Go to your garage sales. Go to your Goodwill and get your stuff. Go to your Habitat for Humanity. Get you a nice dresser. Throw it in a closet. Start filling those drawers with canned goods. Go to the food bank. If that's what you have to do to get a little bit of food to be able to preserve it, do that, okay? Super, super important. Look for preservation stuff at garage sales and on free apps and on Marketplace and stuff like that. Type in canner, pressure canner, water bather. Water bather is just a pan, just so you know, right? You need a rack on the bottom and it's a decent sized pan. It can be a lot of different pans. It doesn't have to be the popular canning thing. Put in Marketplace or free apps and say you're looking for dehydrators. Go to your yard sale apps. A lot of times they have pictures. Certain apps that are local, they'll have pictures of, hey, we have this estate sale coming up, and they'll show pictures of stuff. Estate sales are great because that's older people that went through this. Have jars, have lids, have preservation stuff, have canners, have the different things, right? Have dehydrators. I've gotten, I still to this day, one of my dehydrators is hella old. I got it at a garage sale for $15. It's super big. It's ugly, right? It's totally ugly, but it still works. Still gets the job done. I refuse to get rid of it because it's doing what I needed to do, right? So I will use that thing until it totally dies on me, and then I will get rid of it. And of course I have my other one, but this one is much bigger surface, right? I don't have a fancy Excalibur, fancy huge one, which I would love. but I have a good size one that I got at a garage sale for $15. And then I have my smaller square one, which does the job too. It just doesn't have as big a surfaces, obviously, because it's a smaller size. But whatever you have to do to get it done, birthdays and stuff, people ask you, what do you want? I want this. I want a vac sealer. I want a dehydrator. I want some jar sealers. Get me some jars and some jar sealers. It doesn't have to be expensive. I want the jar sealers and send it to them from Amazon. You get that, and then boom, you buy your own jars, and you can put your snacks in there. You can put rice, beans, whatever, suck the air out, boom, put it on the shelf, okay? There's a lot of things that can be done for cheap and less money and or free. Okay, so, but it takes creativity. It takes a willpower, a drive, a grit. Okay, and we're in the times of, you got to have that, baby, or you're, just to be honest, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it if you don't have grit, if you don't have that willpower to make it, that willpower to survive, right? You've got to have that in you. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you have money or not. It really doesn't. Because let me tell you, there's all types of stuff I would be doing if I don't have money. There's stuff I do every day that I don't have money. Sometimes I just look at my inventory or my kitchen, and I'm like, I need to repackage this food. I haven't repackaged yet. I need to repackage this, right? Or I get an empty jar from using something. I get a spaghetti jar emptied or a pickle jar emptied or whatever. I'm like, okay, let me fill this with beans. Let me go get some beans. Beans are super cheap, right? Let me get some beans. I'm talking about $1. Like a spaghetti jar, I think that pound, those little square pound beans you get at Walmart for a couple dollars. I mean, those fit almost perfectly in a spaghetti jar. There's actually some extra space, but boom, and just you just doing that and putting it in the jar and putting it up is huge. If you throw an oxygen absorber in there, it's even better, but you don't need to, okay? A lot of that stuff is hardy. It will last forever. And by you just putting it in a jar and keeping that condensation out is magic. Okay. And that's what people don't understand is, you know, our people, our ancestors, they did a lot of stuff, but just preserving simply, you know, it wasn't rocket science. You know, they didn't have oxygen absorbers and all this fancy stuff. They just did it. Right. So hopefully you feel motivated. Keep doing some stuff. I'm about to go to the store and get some apricots, I think. Hubby wants some apricot jam again. That's like his favorite. I'm constantly making it. I'm constantly canning it. So I'm going to make some more of that. We did coffee creamer, right? I'm waiting to do 3 different recipes, and then I'm going to do a video for that. But the first one turned out good. We got marshmallows. I just cut up a bunch of fresh chives the other day, so we got that dried yesterday, and then today we just put on the marshmallows because we were running low on the marshmallows for the kiddos hot chocolate. So have fun with this doesn't have to be gloom and doom. Hopefully I've motivated you a little bit. Hopefully something in that whole scheme of everything I just talked about, you got something from. You're going to take that, run with it, and I wish nothing but blessings for you and yours, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Take care. Bye.